Hello again, everyone. I'm Caryl Stern, Executive Director of the Walton Family Foundation. A couple days ago, I had the honor of opening this conference, and now I have the privilege of wrapping it up. And though this was a virtual conference, there really was nothing remote about it. I was deeply moved by the stories of commitment, the stories of optimism, and humbled by the sheer size of the challenges still ahead of us. I was impressed by the diverse life experiences of our speakers. And most of all, I was excited by all of the excitement. We asked for active participation and we got it. Most of the time, there were actually two fast-paced interactive conversations happening at the same time, one amongst all the speakers and the other amongst all of you in the chat room. I watched as you shared ideas, you shared data, links to articles, as we helped each other learn, even as we find ourselves trying to do hard things in the midst of hard times. All of us want to grab onto something we can control and pull back together. We are hungry for ideas, we're hungry for community. This event showed it. Hundreds participated from at least 9 countries and nearly every state in our nation. More than 2,000 comments were added in the chat box over the 3 days. Thank you to all who not only showed up, but showed up with purpose. I also want to take a minute to thank the many people who put this conference together. We've never tried to do something like this before, and just because they made it look easy, believe me, it was not easy. So to our team, to our partners, our speakers, our panelists, please know we really appreciate you. I noted in my opening remarks how important it is to never lose sight of impact. To never forget how the work each of us undertakes is making a meaningful difference in people's lives. That's part of the reason I'm so proud that we came together this week and how we came together. The tough realities that drive our work are not easy to hear. When Raj Chetty talked about the fading American dream, he described how a young person's chances to achieve that dream have shrunk to a flip of a coin. That's unforgivable. Think about that. Together, we have the power to increase those coin flip odds in the communities we serve. During Raj's eye-opening presentation, someone in the chat said, "This puts our work to help communities close opportunity gaps into poignant perspective." You are so right. When Raj wrapped up, he did something really important, something that essentially all of our speakers did in their own way. He spoke about the depths of the problems. But he ended with optimism, optimism about the solutions. This can be a time of positive disruption, when people and organizations that think and act differently have a momentous opportunity to help. I loved continuously hearing that we have the power to fix what's broken. When Lonnie Bunch spoke of the long struggle for change and racial justice, it was important to hear the pain and the context of that struggle. But it was also important that he noted a change to the response. Never before in our racial reckoning have so many people of different races, different backgrounds, been in the reckoning together. When David Brooks told us about the distrust mindset in America, he spoke of the groups that have been let down the most by the institutions of America. He spoke of Black Americans, the white working class, young people. And yet, there again, he too spoke of the progress that can come with our collective power, the power to listen. The Walton Family Foundation is built on that belief, and we're determined to get even better at it, driven by all of you. As Vice President Al Gore put it, we can learn a lot about listening to frontline communities. Let's listen to Sanford Johnson, the native son of the Delta. In his own wonderful way, he told us that any helpful solutions needed to be deep fried and seasoned to reflect the local needs of Mississippians. And he reminded us that people who come to the region to help need to be part of a team, not show up as a hero swooping in to save the day. Or as he so wonderfully put it, wear a jersey, not a cape. I find myself also reflecting on the words of Secretary Condoleezza Rice. She told us that when people get overwhelmed, it can be so easy to check out. And with the pandemic and economic stress and racial injustice, it is overwhelming. But the way to counteract that is to make it easier for people to do something. Secretary Rice reminded us of the difference it makes if every single person believes they have one thing they can do to fix an enormous problem. We all want to feel we can do something. I am so inspired by young Americans, like those we heard during this conference, whose optimism is remarkable. We learned from research announced during this conference that 7 in 10 young people believe that the obstacles their generation faces only fuels their desire for action. 2/3 of them, about 2/3 of them, still believe the American dream is achievable. But it's their version of the American dream. We heard that loud and clear from Anya and Josh in yesterday's panel. We need to embrace this. Millennials and Gen Zers are driven and determined. They are telling us that societal change is possible and that they believe they can and they will create that change. Let's listen to them. Let's learn from them. Let's lead with them. Throughout this conference, we've asked, what do you want to see in the next 5 years? As we find ourselves socially distant, how do we remain emotionally present? How do we continue to have the strength to support one another, to share our ideas, to learn from one another as we strive to achieve the visions that so many of you shared in the videos that you sent in answer to that question? We asked, what change do you want to see in the next 5 years? Here's my answer. I want us to collectively catch our breath. And then I want us to recommit with fierce purpose to come together around solutions. I want us to continue to raise tough questions, to gather diverse perspectives, and to hold ourselves accountable to find answers. A strategic plan is a start, but strategic actions are what get the work done. My hope for the next 5 years is that we come together with a unity of purpose like never before. The Walton Family Foundation is proud to kick off the next 5 years. We look forward to learning and leading with all of you. And now, for the best part, your videos. Thanks for being with us.